thank you for that. One question that I was reflecting on as I was thinking about our conversation is this idea of the mind. You just alluded to wanting to free our hearts, right, our bodies from the mind. And I think for me, this was a big, what appealed to me initially to Buddhist psychology was that thinking, as just it's a sense organ, like our brain, our mind is a sense organ, and thinking is what it does. And it's not personal. It's just, if we didn't think, we would die, like it'd be brain dead, right? So for me, that really helped me begin to cultivate a relationship with the mind, and then kind of overcome this lie that I'd been trained in, that I think, therefore I am, which is not true. It's part of it, but I also feel, right? I have a body, I have a heart, I have dreams, I have visions, I have experiences. There's so many things, right, that as human beings, we've been allotted in our lifetimes. So I'd love for you to kind of reflect on this idea of the mind and the importance of becoming intimate with our minds, particularly as we're thinking about this idea of bias, these learned habits about ourselves and others.
Well, you captured it in the words cultivating a relationship with our mind. And I think when I teach a retreat or something like that and people leave, probably one of the biggest takeaways people ever have is, I don't have to believe my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. So if I was here thinking, oh, you and I are different and one of us is better because of our race or because of our education or because of anything, our gender, those thoughts would create separation. And yet those thoughts are hugely and deeply conditioned into all of us to have a way of rating people and putting people up or down. And it's very interesting to bring to mind any relationship and notice the subtle ways that we have inferior or superior, and to sense who would we be if we truly felt the equality that really means we are of the same source. We are expressions of the same awareness and love in this universe, like truly equal. It's like it just absolutely fractures the tight prison we're in and opens our hearts. So for me, that training to be able to be in a relationship with my mind and see where my mind was causing suffering. I mean, the question is, are your thoughts creating suffering? Are they creating healing? And for me, the first big, huge domain of thinking that I had to really say, okay, be in relationship with this, but don't believe it, was all the negation of myself. My body is too fat. I'm not good in relationships. I'm letting down people. I'm, not contributing enough. Everything you could ever imagine. And just to sense, and this I call the trance of unworthiness, the squeeze it puts us in. Because if we believe we're unworthy, we can't really be intimate with others because we always are afraid that they'll see it and they'll not want to be with us. We can't be spontaneous. We can't enjoy the moment. It's the first domain of mind that I had to work with. And just to be clear that although we're calling it mind, it's very much in our bodies, that our issues are in our tissues. The trance of unworthiness, not only in my mind, but as a clench in my body.
Yes.
This gets around to bias because it took me longer. It took me longer to begin to see the conditioning of bias in myself. And the reason was that my father was an attorney, and he did a lot of civil rights work, and he was very much ahead of his times. I mean, he was the guy that brought the first Black attorney into his law firm, and he just was very dedicated to racial justice. And so I just grew up assuming, I was an ally to non-dominant populations, and I was unbiased and so on. So it took some jarring wake-ups to go, wait a minute, I'm caught in a conditioning just because I live in this culture, not because I'm bad.
Yes.
We're not bad. It's just that you cannot breathe the atmosphere of this culture and not adopt some of the assumptions of what you deserve and who's better and so
Yeah.
on. And so that took a lot of unwinding.